The Premier is back praising the federal trade deal with China. Regina police investigate the city's first homicide of 2026. And sentencing for a woman convicted of fraud.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Premier Scott Moe is back from his trip to Asia, where Prime Minister Mark Carney and the federal government struck a trade deal with China, resulting in the lowering of tariffs on canola and peas. Stacey Hine has more on how important this deal was for the ag industry.
Just hours after returning from China, Premier Scott Moe joined agriculture leaders to mark a new Canada-China tariff deal.
Very, very significant to our Saskatchewan farmers, to all of our exporters, to the processing industry here in the province. But it's also important to the Canadian agriculture industry, and I would say equally important to the Canadian economy.
Under the deal, China will cut its canola seed tariffs from 75% to 15%. Tariffs on canola meal, peas, and seafood will also be dropped. In return, Canada will allow up to 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles into the country each year at a 6.1% tariff, down from 100%. Despite a long history of clashes with former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Moe was quick to credit the federal government for landing the deal.
Credit to the federal government, and you haven't heard me saying that a lot in the last decade, but I will say it here today.
The Canola Council of Canada says the trade dispute led to volatile prices, noting many farmers still have last year's crop in the bin. It says the agreement couldn't have come at a better time.
With the 2026 growing season just months away, producers need predictable, rules-based access to global markets.
Pea growers are also welcoming the agreement.
The elimination of the 100% tariffs on Canadian peas was very positive news for pea growers here in Saskatchewan and across Canada.
Premier Moe notes canola oil, which remains subject to a 100% tariff, was left out of the deal, saying the focus was on canola meal.
And meal was the important piece for us to get in order to have that domestic crush capacity so that we can actually start to move some of the product that we have here in Canada.
Moe says while the deal is a positive step, more work remains.
From an agricultural perspective, this gets us back to where we were a year ago. No more, no less, really.
The changes under the Canada-China agreement are expected to take effect by March 1st. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Regina police are investigating the city's first homicide of 2026. What began as a death investigation is now treated as a homicide after a body was found in a vehicle shortly after police tried to carry out a traffic stop. The aerial support unit led police to the vehicle, but the occupants weren't there. Upon a search, a dead body was found inside. Police have also searched a home on the 3700 block of Dutney Avenue in connection with the case. Anyone with information on what happened is asked to contact police. Meanwhile, the cause of another person's death over the weekend in East Regina has been deemed non-criminal. Police made the determination in working with the Saskatchewan Coroner's Service. An autopsy finding no reason to suspect foul play in the man's death on the 2000 block of Prince of Wales Drive. Police will not release his identity. A Regina woman was sentenced on Tuesday for an embezzlement investment scheme that dates back to 2006. Jacob Carr has more on the lengthy legal process that has now come to an end.
Alina Marie Pastuch's appeal for a trial by jury has been dismissed. Instead, the judge has sentenced her to 3 years and 6 months in prison. With 547 days of remand credit, Pastuch will spend 2 years serving time in a federal jail. She was previously convicted in 2019 and sentenced to 7 years after being charged in connection to an investment scheme starting in 2006 that operated for around 7 years. Pastuch represented herself in the case, and a new trial was ordered in 2022 by the Provincial Court of Appeal. Fast forward to September 2024 when Pastuch entered another guilty plea, so there was no retrial. Last month, Pastuch's legal counsel requested a jury trial in an attempt to reopen sentencing, but that has been denied.
I'm hoping that the victims at this point will now, after over a decade, will get some closure in relation to the sentencing. Thankfully, the judge agreed with original counsel who made the sentencing submission along with myself as the Crown, and that now Ms. Pastuch will be held accountable for the theft of over $4.9 million.
Justice Catherine Catherine Dawson read several victim impact statements of those who were scammed into investing their money by Pastouche. Dawson declined to name the victims so as not to re-victimize them. One statement from a man who lost $55,000 said, "It may not seem like a great deal of money to some people, but to me it was significant. I've had many sleepless nights wondering and worrying where this money went." Another from a couple who lost $1.26 million. "We sold a farm. We had so many exciting plans for the next chapter of our lives. We plan to travel, help our children and grandchildren, do some charity work, and just enjoy the life we've worked hard for 35 years to establish." Dawson also issued a restitution order for Pastouche to pay back the over $4.9 million that she embezzled. The sentence will see Pastouche serve 730 days in a federal prison, and Pastouche has been ordered to surrender herself to Regina police by Friday at noon. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
The provincial government is moving towards removing red tape for drivers in the oil and gas sector. As Sierra D'Souza Botts explains, the plan is to bring Saskatchewan's regulations more in line with Alberta.
Oil and gas service drivers now have easier access when traveling between provincial borders.
This is about reducing red tape. It's about harmonizing with the province of Alberta.
The government of Saskatchewan is signing a memorandum of agreement with the Canadian Association of Energy Contractors, officially amending the driver licensing and suspension regulations in Saskatchewan, along with removing administrative barriers for drivers of service rigs.
There truly is no border that exists between Alberta and Saskatchewan from a commerce perspective in oil and gas. So we want to make sure that our crews can move back and forth between Alberta and Saskatchewan as efficiently and seamlessly as possible, and that's what this agreement does.
Prior to the agreement, drivers for the Canadian Association of Energy Contractors were required to submit periodic medical fitness reports to SGI and obtain the endorsement requirements. Now, with what the province refers to as administrative burdens being removed, service rig drivers will be able to move back and forth between Alberta and Saskatchewan more conveniently. The provincial government says the change will allow Saskatchewan's energy sector to be more efficient and competitive.
Having that cross-border harmonization as far as the rules in this industry is really important because it is one oil field, and individual companies are operating between the two jurisdictions. So having a consistent set of rules means that we are going to be able to have that efficiency.
By the end of the year, Manitoba is expected to sign a similar agreement with the long-term goal of having drivers work under one set of transportation rules across Western Canada. Sierra D'Souza Botts, CTV News, Weyburn.
Regina Group picked up more than 1,200 syringes from Regina streets last year, along with other hazardous waste and drug-related materials over the course of 31 patrols. White Pony Lodge says in addition to the syringes, patrollers picked up another 163 syringe caps or parts, along with various drug paraphernalia, drugs, pills, and more. In total, more than 2,600 dangerous items were recovered over the course of the year. White Pony Lodge thanks the City of Regina for their support through a harm reduction grant. Canada's weather-related insured losses were more than $2.4 billion last year. That's based on a new report from the Insurance Bureau of Canada. The cost includes $300 million in losses from wildfires in the Flin Flon and La Ronge areas last summer in Saskatchewan. Another $235 million in insured damage was done during a series of severe storms across the prairies in August. In Saskatchewan, Radisson, Langham, and North Battleford were hardest hit by those storms. Okay, no summer storms to talk about tonight, Sabine, but wind again? Is that going to be the issue? Cold? Yeah. What do we got going on?
It's a little bit of everything, Lee. And starting tonight, parts of the southeast, actually, you're going to start to feel it and see it first because we're starting to see a number of watches, warnings, and advisories issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada. I know on their maps, they're all yellow usually, or depending on the threat level, orange. Here, I did break it up just to give you a clearer picture of what we can expect. So in the purple in the southeast, we've got wind warnings, so where we could see winds gusting up to 90 kilometers kilometers an hour. And then on top of that, there is a snow squall watch in effect, which kind of goes hand in hand with the wind, where we could see some heavy snowfall, a big burst of heavy snow come through, which would obviously reduce visibility in a very short span of time. So it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a big heavy snowfall total-wise, but basically whiteout conditions are expected. In the yellow, we could see blowing snow advisories right now, which could affect conditions heading into tomorrow. But I'll have all the details coming up for you in your full forecast. Lee?
Thanks, Sabine. It's a popular time for hockey and ringette tournaments, but sometimes harsh winter conditions like we saw last Friday can leave teams unexpectedly stranded. But as Damien Smith tells us, that's where small prairie towns show their community spirit.
The Cooperator Center is the home for the U16 Regina Riot ringette team, but on Friday evening, they had to find a new home.
It's a very small town. I'd never even heard of it before.
On the way to a tournament in Winnipeg, the team found themselves stranded in St. Claude, Manitoba, due to poor road visibility.
We were more just worried about the safety of the players and our bus and our families.
The town of just a little more than 600 people opened their community center for a 41-person sleepover.
Within 10 minutes, people from the community were bringing things like blankets, cots, air mattresses, pillows.
And my thought was kind of like, how are we going to feed all these people? Like, there's 41 people there, and like, we're kind of not prepared, right?
Luckily for the 7 board members of the community center, the hungry ringette players already had a pre-packed supper.
The looks on their face were just like total shock and surprise, and they were just so grateful for everything. At one point we walked in there and they were cheering and clapping for us.
This isn't the first time the town has opened up their center for a large group of people in need. The last time was in 2019, where citizens were left without hydro for a week.
It almost makes me emotional thinking about it, but I said to my partner when I got home, I said, doing stuff like this really fuels my soul. Like that kind of stuff makes me so happy, being able to help people like that.
And as a goodbye, players left thank you notes for a community that became a second home. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Conservation officers are asking for the public's help after the discovering of 4 dead and severely injured coyotes last weekend. Hallie Mandrick has the details and a warning. This story does contain images that some viewers might find disturbing.
A $2,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest after a group of coyotes were killed by snowmobilers. According to Sask Tip, 4 coyotes were discovered roughly 11 kilometers east of Lanigan last Sunday. The animals were deliberately pursued and struck by snowmobiles. 2 were found dead and the other 2 were left severely injured, which led to the animals being humanely euthanized on site. One expert says that while coyotes can be a nuisance for farmers this time of year, this incident was far from population control.
When individuals are perpetrating this kind of violence and cruelty towards wildlife, it has nothing to do with protection of livestock or wildlife management or, availability to essentially hunt the species. These are individuals that believe they're above the law.
Evidence collected at the scene indicates that all 4 of the coyotes were run over by the same group of snowmobilers. In a statement to CTV News, the Ministry of Community Safety said, quote, "We are deeply concerned by the recent incident reported in the Humboldt-Lanigan area involving coyotes that were struck and killed by snowmobilers. Intentionally harming wildlife is not only illegal, but it also undermines the values of respect and responsibility that most outdoor users uphold. An investigation is currently underway to determine what occurred." Now, investigators are hoping the public can assist in finding the perpetrators.
There are very few conservation officers in the field compared to other police agencies, so we do rely heavily on the public, rural landowners, anyone else driving in rural areas that happen to see or come across something to report it to the tip line, and then officers will follow up to investigate.
Anyone with information is asked to contact the Provincial Turn-In Poachers and Polluters, also known as TIP line, at 1-800-667-7561. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatchewan-born poet has won a prestigious award in the United Kingdom. Karen Soley, who was born in Moose Jaw, was the winner of the T.S. Eliot Poetry Prize in London last night for her collection titled Wellwater. The prize is worth £25,000. That equals a little more than about $46,000 Canadian. She's the first Canadian to win this award in 25 years. After the break, the Prime Minister takes a shot at President Trump using tariffs as a coercion tactic. And a 19-year-old Canadian found dead in Australia is identified.
Tomorrow.
We just got situated in our room.
Just hours after this video, she was found beaten to death on a luxury resort in Mexico.
When I found out she was dead, I just started screaming.
Her Canadian boyfriend found not guilty.
My goal is that the monster who murdered my daughter doesn't have a chance to murder anybody else's.
We've uncovered blockbuster developments that could change everything. Tomorrow on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Greetings, everyone. Hoop dancing is an Indigenous tradition that uses dance to tell the stories of nature, share life lessons, and create an interconnectedness with all things. One hoop dancer from Saskatoon is sharing his knowledge and skills with those who visit the Wanuskewin Heritage Museum. CTV's Hallie Mandrick has more.
Lawrence Roy has been hoop dancing since he was 13 years old, and now he's sharing that passion with those who visit the Wanuskewin Heritage Museum.
I have 30 hoops that I dance with, and I come here and I dance for the people, and I give them information about what hoop dancing is, where it comes from, how it was originated, and everything.
It's part of the Wanuskewin dance and music presentations, drop-in programming which offers visitors an opportunity to learn more about Indigenous art forms. Roy's hoop dancing came along with teachings of how his art form is reflective of many things that can be found in nature.
He's telling us at the start, like, oh, you'll see the butterfly, then it'll be a snake, then it'll be a butterfly again, then a bird, eagle, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then sure enough, with the hoops, you see it all. It was really neat. It really gave you a lot of images and a lot to think about.
Roy also gave visitors an opportunity to try their hand at hoop dancing. The dancer says crowds are typically a little hesitant at first. However, a little encouragement goes a long way.
Because they can't really think they can do it, but they can. So I give them the courage and empowerment to know that they can do something that's as difficult as hoop dancing.
Okay, we're going to the left again. Because we're a universe. Yeah. We're only 4, but yeah. We're strong!
It was harder than I thought. When he was doing it, I was like, wow, it looks like he's pretty good at it, but it can't be that hard. And then when I was doing it, sure enough, it was really cool. Really hard, though. It takes a lot of patience.
For Indigenous Circle, I'm Hallie Mandrick.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Strong words from Canada's Prime Minister addressing leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Without mentioning the U.S. President, Mark Carney said the rules-based world order is fading and we must adapt, reaffirming Canada's support for Greenland. Andy Bergeron-Oliver is in Davos with more on Carney's remarks that triggered an audible reaction of support from inside the room.
Nestled in the usually calm mountains of the ski town Davos, a chaotic meeting of hundreds of politicians and top business leaders at the World Economic Forum that this year Prime Minister Mark Carney used to deliver a frank message about the future.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Carney declared the U.S.-led world order dead and said countries must turn inward now that it's clear integration can lead to subordination.
Call it what it is. a system of intensifying great power rivalry where the most powerful pursue their interests using economic integration as coercion.
Withstanding those economic shocks, the Prime Minister said will require like-minded countries to pivot, to work together to hedge uncertainty. While Trump's name was never mentioned, Carney did call on middle powers like Canada to push back against domination by great powers, using tariffs as leverage and supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice: compete with each other for favor, or to combine to create a third path with impact.
The message receiving what organizers described as a rare standing ovation at a summit where geopolitics and the future of Greenland is looming large.
Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic.
Carney may get a chance to raise his concerns about Greenland directly to the U.S. president. While no meeting is currently scheduled between Carney and Donald Trump, the U.S. president will be here tomorrow at the same time as Mark Carney. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Davos, Switzerland.
And a lot of talk today over an image U.S. President Donald Trump shared early this morning on Truth Social. It showed Canada and Greenland draped in the American flag. Michael Couture has more.
The original photo came from an August meeting between President Donald Trump and European leaders. It shows them in the Oval Office with a map of Ukraine and Russia in the background. A newly doctored version posted by Trump shows a different type of expansionism. The new map shows the stars and stripes painted over Greenland, Venezuela, and Canada.
He wants to be in control. He wants to manage. He wants to run the hemisphere and be a dictator.
Former Foreign Affairs Minister Lloyd Axworthy believes Canada needs to push back.
I think it's about time we showed a little sort of what the hell is going on, Mr. Trump? Would you stop this nonsense? Because if he's not confronted, then he will feel emboldened to go ahead.
Now, the Globe and Mail is reporting hypothetical responses to a U.S. military invasion are being modeled by the Canadian Armed Forces. However, the Foreign Affairs Minister would only speak broadly about national defense.
To always ensure that the defense and protection of our country is first and foremost on top of our list of priorities.
CTV News requested a comment from the Canadian Armed Forces, but we did not get one. Now, Trump has mused about taking over Canada for more than a year, but one of his former advisors downplayed the seriousness of that particular post.
But just in an interview that he did a few hours ago, he didn't say anything about the United States taking over Canada, and in fact referred to Canada's interest also in the Arctic. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that from the Canadian perspective.
Kellyanne Shaw says Trump is having a little fun with that post, but for many in Canada, it's serious. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The European Union also pushing back on the Greenland talk. Today, the bloc's top official criticized Donald Trump's plan to impose tariffs on countries that oppose a U.S. takeover of the island.
Our northern NATO members have Arctic-ready forces right now. And above all, that Arctic security can only be achieved together. And this is why the proposed additional tariffs are a mistake, especially between long-standing allies. The European Union and the United States have agreed to a trade deal last July. And in politics, as in business, a deal is a deal.
The EC president insists Europe is fully committed to Arctic security, but says plunging them into a downward spiral would only help the very adversaries both U.S. and Europeans are trying to keep out of the region. Now, Canada says it strongly opposes the tariffs as well. Police in Australia are searching for answers following the discovery of the body of a Canadian teenager this week.
At this stage, it's too early to speculate on cause of death. We simply can't confirm whether this young lady drowned or died as a result of being attacked by dingoes.
19-year-old Piper James was from Campbell River, BC. Police in the state of Queensland have declined to identify the victim, but say her body was found yesterday morning on a beach on Fraser Island. They say it was surrounded by a pack of about 10 dingoes. Initial information suggests she may have gone for an early swim. James had been working on the island for the last 6 weeks and was traveling with a fellow Canadian. The result of a post-mortem is expected by tomorrow. Now, her father, Todd, posted a statement on Facebook that reads, "Our hearts are shattered as we share the tragic loss of our beautiful daughter, Piper. We will always remember her infectious laugh and her kind spirit. I admired her strength and determination to go after her dreams. She was glad I was on board for her trip to Australia. She said, because I'm 18 and you can't stop me. Mostly I loved hearing about and seeing the bonds and friendships she was developing as she grew into her beautiful self." James also says his daughter loved and was proud of her work at BC Wildfire Services and says so many people will miss her and she will never be forgotten. Coming up, the Ottawa Senators appear to be cashing in on the popularity of a streaming hockey show.
Saskatchewan, it's Bell Let's Talk Day. As Bell kicks off another campaign, we learn about this year's theme, Taking a Moment for Mental Health. It all starts at 6.
All right, well, hopefully you got a chance to get outside and enjoy the temperatures that we saw today. Just right within seasonal range, actually. The daytime average for this time of year, usually hovering around about -11 for Regina. We actually warmed up to -11.8, and that's what we're actually currently sitting at right now. Wind chill is -20, so still feels colder than that -12. Winds are just under 20 kilometers an hour, and everything's about to change within the next 24 hours. So if we're taking a look at what we've got coming up, again, the yellow is all the blowing snow advisories. Essentially, these get put in place because of what's to come and because it's going to be affecting a larger area. We do have some wind warnings in effect for the southwest. Along with that, we have the snow squall watches in place. Now, these are all in effect for tonight going into tomorrow. We will see those wind speeds picking up quite a bit, especially coming from Alberta. And then again, we will still see strong wind gusts heading into tonight and into tomorrow for parts of south central and southeastern Saskatchewan. But right now, those warnings and watches are in a place for the southwest. Could possibly see some warnings put in place for the central, south central southwest tomorrow. But this is what we've got coming up. So we do have some snow in Saskatchewan heading into this evening, essentially starting from the northwest. We will start to see it making its way through the Saskatoon area and into the Parkland area. Regina could also see that snow come through tonight as well, along with many parts of Saskatchewan seeing snow tonight, and that snow is going to stick around tonight into the overnight. As it clears and we head into Wednesday, we will see primarily mostly cloudy conditions, still pockets of snowfall throughout the day in different parts of the province, but mostly it's going to be cloudy, and we are still, as of right now, expecting to see those temperatures stay within the seasonal range. Wind chill, of course, is going to play a factor in those temperatures feeling closer in the -20s, possibly mid-20s, and then tomorrow evening, those wind chills are expecting to cool even more into the -30s before the overnight hits, and that wind chill changes altogether. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. In terms of what's to come tonight into tomorrow for the daytime, cloudy seasonal temperatures. By Thursday, though, taking a look there, we'll start to see those conditions completely clear, and that's because of a high pressure system that's coming in. And then basically from Thursday into the weekend, we're going to see nothing but a whole lot of sunshine, but the write-off is that we're going to see very frigid temperatures arriving as well. So here's a quick look for snowfall totals between now and to tomorrow morning. Up to 8 centimeters expected for Regina, 4 for Moose Jaw and Saskatoon, 4 for Swift Current, and Maple Creek will see a little bit more of that snow arrive as we head into Thursday morning, and you can see Regina just bumped up a centimeter as well. So again, taking a look at the map, we're going to see snow right across the province. The north expecting trace amounts, whereas most of that snow central southern Saskatchewan will see most of that accumulation. Temperatures, like I said, tonight into tomorrow, still within that seasonal range. The average daytime highs, like I mentioned, anywhere between -11 and -13, and the lows usually in the -20 range. So we're still going to see warmer than seasonal lows tonight, and everything changes as we head into tomorrow. And in terms of what Regina could expect tonight, -12 with the winds picking up to 60. Tomorrow, -13 is the daytime high with the winds staying within that 55-60 km/h range. And then, of course, we'll have the snow on top of that. So blowing snow expected, as we already saw the blowing snow advisory. In terms of the next 7 days, this is what we've got coming up. So -13 tomorrow, again, wind chill in the -20s. By tomorrow night, the low is expected to be about -24, with the wind chills getting into the -30, mid-30 mark. By Thursday, though, that's where we see those very frigid temperatures come into play. -26, nothing but sunshine. By the evening, the low for Thursday is -36. And of course, these wind chill values will get into the mid-40s for those following days, where we see these temperatures much cooler than average. -26 Thursday, Friday -27, Saturday -23, and the relief arrives as we head into next week. So we had a week or so of these really chilly conditions and the snow, and then we'll see a little bit of a break as we head into the end of January, Lee.
Okay, but we could see some snow squalls. Not blizzards. Blizzards is more extended.
Yeah, snow squall more like just like a flash of a whiteout with all that heavy snow and the wind gusts, and then things calm. But just don't think heading out on the roads that you're going to have some great conditions, because that can come out of nowhere. So.
Right. All right. Thanks, Sabine.
You bet.
Well, there are some great NHL hockey jerseys out there. I kind of like the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium Series jersey that just came out. They're going to wear outdoors on February 1st. It's different. It's kind of cool. But for fans of the Crave Series heated rivalry, there are two particular Ottawa Senator jerseys that have become hot ticket items. Kimberly Johnson explains why.
Jenny Asselin is an Ottawa Senators fan and a heated rivalry fan. She was caught off guard when the worlds collided at the Canadian Tire Centre.
Going to buy a commemorative puck, and sure enough, there's a Hollander and a Rosenhoff jersey right there waiting for me. It was just serendipity, really.
The Senators have released heated rivalry-inspired Sens jerseys. Fans of the series can now buy Senators jerseys with the names Hollander and Rosenhoff on the back. The popular Crave original series is a love story about pro hockey players Shane Hollander and Ilya Rosenhoff, who are on rival teams.
We had the idea on Friday morning, and we had a whole bunch of jerseys in the store by Saturday night at our game, and sold out within probably an hour before the first period was over.
Peter Shire with the Senators says the store was getting requests for the specialized jerseys from heated rivalry fans, so they had some made up ahead of Saturday's game against Montreal. He says online sales are also popular.
We woke up on Sunday morning. We had orders from, I think, Germany, Sweden, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Sweden, from all over the world. So it really, it's great.
In all, he says about 50 jerseys have already been sold, and proceeds will be going towards Ottawa Pride Hockey.
Heated rivalry has been a really fun topic of conversation lately. I feel it's been taking over conversations in the locker room, and it's a great, wholesome show.
Ottawa Pride Hockey is an inclusive hockey recreation league for the queer community, and with about 200 regular players, the league's co-coordinator says the goal is to make sure everyone sees themselves on the ice and on a hockey jersey.
So important to be able to see yourself as a kid, even as an adult now, just like, okay, I am welcome here.
And with the city of Ottawa set to play a possible role in the upcoming season 2 of Heated Rivalry, now fans can have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, a fun little thing to see the Sens sort of embrace.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
Still ahead, final preparations for Jolene Campbell and her Highland Curling Club before heading to the Scotties in Mississauga. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts begins Friday in Mississauga, and Saskatchewan's Team Campbell is ready to wear the green jackets.
It's on the guard. It's going to tick and roll off. And Jolene Campbell will not have to throw her last rock, and she is your 2026 Saskatchewan provincial champion.
Saskatchewan has not won a Scotties championship since 2011, when Jolene Campbell was actually an alternate for Team Amber Holland. Campbell says there are similarities between that team and the one that is headed to the Scotties this year.
On this team, like Robin and I and Rachel have all been there before, so we kind of have that in common with them. We know what to expect. Really, we'll just enjoy it, I think, the same way they did. That's really how that team approached it. It was just, they were really united and they just really enjoyed being out there together. They really supported one another, and so I think we do things pretty similar that way.
The Highland Curling Club is hosting a team send-off tonight. Saskatchewan opens their tournament Saturday evening against Nova Scotia. We'll have more on the team tomorrow. Riders continued their signing surge today, inking Canadian defensive back Lake Corte Moore to a one-year extension.
Deep drop from Crom. Down he goes.
Last season, Corte Moore only played 7 games after tearing his ACL in August. Drafted 3rd overall by the Riders in the 2023 CFL draft, he has 29 defensive tackles and 2 career sacks. Now, yesterday, we told you the Riders announced receiver Kian Schaefer-Baker signed a 2-year contract extension, keeping him in the green and white through 2027.
Harris looks to his right, throws in that direction, laying out for it on the near sideline. Schaefer-Baker, welcome back.
Now, not including winning the Grey Cup, it was a bit of a trying season for the 5th-year receiver out of Guelph. He got hurt in a Riders' first game of the season. He says the rehab process has made him a better player and a better person.
The pain that you go through ultimately turns into power one day, and I feel like everything you go through in life happens for a reason, Sometimes you might not understand it or know what's going on, but that's not for us to understand. The biggest thing in this locker room is the continuity and how we mesh together, and what we had last year was so special, but that's in the past. Last year was a crazy stepping stone for us, and now when you're at the top of one mountain, you're at the bottom of another.
KSB returned from the injury for the final 4 games of the regular season, had 15 catches, 177 yards, and then in the Grey Cup game, 3 catches, 27 yards, and of course winning that Grey Cup. Well, a big game for the Regina Pats tonight as they take on the Rebels in Red Deer.
Boards by Liam Pugh. Nice little play by the 15-year-old. Schultz in the slot. Down low for Pugh. He shoots. Scores!
The Pats are 1 point back of the Rebels for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Both teams have been playing .500 hockey in their last 10 games, but the Rebels, they have the edge in the season series. They've won 2 of 3. Puck drop is 8 o'clock Saskatchewan time at the Merchant Cranes Centrium. Still ahead, a 10-year-old boy uses his Make-A-Wish request to give something to his hero.
All right, let's take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be another pretty seasonal day for many parts of Saskatchewan tomorrow, seeing more cloud cover as we saw on our map earlier. And then as we head into tomorrow night, that's when temperatures are going to drop even more. But in terms of daytime temperatures tomorrow, we're still looking at seasonal conditions across rural Saskatchewan. Cloudy conditions, as you can see on the board there. -16 for Meadow Lake and Spiritwood, -15 for Melfort and Hudson Bay, -12 for Lloydminster and Kindersley, and Outlook -13 and -14 for Watrous and Wynyard. We get close to the southern border. Some of those temperatures warm up just a little bit. Leader, -9 and cloudy. Maple Creek, -7 and cloudy. And then we have some snow coming through. Well, many parts of the province will see some light snowfall throughout the day, but Lumsden and Pilot Butte will see it tomorrow as well. -13 is the expected daytime high, with Carlisle in the southeast a mix of sun and cloud, and -11. A closer look at Leader tomorrow. -9 is the expected daytime high. Cloudy conditions with a wind chill of -18, and then heading into tomorrow night, dropping to -21 with a wind chill of -30.
It was a dream come true for a young Toronto Maple Leafs fan, a 10-year-old giving his hockey hero Austin Matthews a special gift that he designed himself thanks to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Raheem Ladani has a story.
Hey, Austin Matthews! This is the moment Liam has been working towards for over a year, hanging out with his hockey idol,
Toronto Maple Leafs captain Austin Matthews.
I was very excited and happy to meet him.
I know he's been dreaming of this moment for a really long time. Austin Matthews is incredible. It's his hero.
You see, Liam loves hockey. He gets on the ice whenever he can, though it's sometimes challenging living with cystic fibrosis. He was first diagnosed with the respiratory disorder at 3 weeks old.
At the time, we had no clue that we were carriers of it, so it was really scary for me. But I mean, as you can see, he's grown up to be an amazing little boy.
And Dina's amazing 10-year-old is also selfless. And this is where Make-A-Wish Canada comes in. Known for creating life-changing wishes for children diagnosed with critical illnesses, the organization asked Liam what he wants. But instead of a vacation or a new toy, Liam wished for the chance to design custom skates and stick for the Leafs captain.
It just reminded me of Austin Matthews, and I wanted to be like him one day.
His heart is so full. He would literally give you the shirt off his back. So it doesn't surprise me that he wanted to do something special for his hero, Austin.
Oh, dude. Look at these things.
With the help of a custom designer from Calgary, Liam drew some of Matthews' favorite things.
The Toronto Maple Leafs, Austin Matthews' dog, and Carlton the bear.
I was supposed to use them as inspiration. When I saw the drawings, I was like, I'm just going to reproduce the drawing, and that's what's going to go on the skate.
After Liam gifted Austin Matthews with the custom pair of skates and stick, Liam was then surprised with a replica version of both just for him. And these skates are also signed by Matthews himself. Is there anything he said to you that was really special?
Yeah. He'll try to get as much goals as he can possibly for me.
And as Matthews tries to follow through on his promise, he'll be keeping Liam's favorite saying in mind.
Never give up.
Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
Farm markets, canola street price has gone down $7.40 to $578.42 per ton. That ain't good. Futures price down $2.30 to $636.20 per ton. Amber Durum wheat is the same, $274.92 per ton. Red spring wheat's up $2.65 to $249.91 per ton. Feed barley is $213.59 per ton, and flax is $626.04 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge. The markets both going down. The TSX dropped 340 points, while the Dow Jones dropped by 870 points. The Canadian dollar, it went up almost 0.2% to 72.29 cents US. On the commodity front, gold up $92.54, another big jump today. West Texas Intermediate crude was up $1.02, while there was no change for Western Canadian Select crude. Gas in Regina, no change. You can find it at most places, if not all, for $1.25.9 per liter.
The American markets were closed on Monday, so this is the first chance investors have had to respond to the rhetoric. And clearly they were shaken, continuing to sell America and sending the markets nosediving. Both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq dropped over 2%. And the threats to Greenland sent spot gold to a new record high above $4,700 an ounce. Netflix is making an all-cash offer for Warner Brothers. The streaming company's original offer was for cash and stock, but an aggressive bid from Paramount Skydance has forced Netflix to make the change. The offer is still $82.7 billion US, or $27.75 a share. But Paramount's bid is $30 US a share and is also an all-cash offer. The Paramount offer expires on Wednesday. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, Will Trent will be on at 7 o'clock, followed by High Potential at 8, The Rookie at 9, and Best Medicine at 10 o'clock. So Sabine, you're wrong. No Big Bang Theory tonight. People in some parts of the world caught a glimpse of some stunning northern lights.
Yeah, the light display could be seen in Germany, parts of the U.S., China, and even Hungary. The dazzling sky was caused by the strong geomagnetic storm. The bright, colorful lights created a picturesque scene if you were lucky enough to see it. Probably not here because we have been under a blanket of clouds. Still beautiful. Yeah. If you've ever wondered how a cow scratches its back, a bovine in Austria took the bull by the horns and figured it out.
This is Veronica. So Her owner says she's been picking up sticks with her mouth, as you see here, and scratches her own back for what he thinks is a decade. When animal behavior researchers saw the footage, they say it's the first time a cow has ever been recorded using a tool. They got to see the footage. We got to see 2 still pictures.
But take that picture and imagine it moving. Because then you get an idea of how Veronica scratches her back with the tool.
It's like newspaper.
Back scratcher.
Back scratcher!